Welcome back to Half a Clue Movie Review, final week of Guilty Pleasure Month. It's a very special week. It is Ron's choice in a bizarre choice that resembles a Frankenstein's monster version of a screenplay that would be a Miles movie and a screenplay that would be a Blake movie sewn together. That's the vibe I got.
What? Really?
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. Yeah, it feels like the weird combination of a Miles and a Blake movie put together, and it's a little messy because of that.
See, I want to know what parts of this movie you think are like the Miles movie parts eventually.
Well, it's a girl movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is a girl power movie.
You're a big romance guy.
Mother and daughter. It's kind of a rom-com. That's your part.
Yeah.
Yeah, rom-com, kind
Why'd
of.
you put it in quotations?
Well, I mean, there's very little funny and less romantic about this.
I disagree. I think it's
But
funny.
anyways, I'm Blake. I'm joined by Miles
Hello?
and other people.
Oh, yeah. Hi, I'm Ron.
I'm Jason.
Ron, what's your guilty pleasure?
My pick of the week is Heartbreakers from
Ooh.
2003.
Number 2, why this movie?
I chose this movie because it'd been a while since I'd seen it, and I do remember liking it. Like, I thought it was funny, but also remember like that there were really that there were some real like cheesy parts and stuff that I was kind of like indifferent to, and I just wanted to revisit it and see how it goes.
When did you first see it?
Probably when it came out, so like around 2001, because I remember renting it and then watching this with my family. Funny enough, I was fucking
A lot of racy sex scenes.
yeah,
in
there
it for your-
is. It is, but I just happened to watch
That was
it.
pretty common back then.
Yeah,
Just
like,
want to watch.
these-
Just want to watch this in less caution with your mom.
I mean, there's no nudity in this, so that's fine, I guess. I don't know exactly what the rules were.
PG-13.
It is, and I was 8 years old when this came out, but they were like, it's fine. Even though there's like a blowjob scene in like the first 10 minutes.
Which is like the funniest part of the movie.
It is very funny. There's I think the whole like first like 15 minutes or so, I think is some of the funniest stuff in this movie for me.
Yeah, it goes downhill very drastically.
I disagree.
I thought you liked this movie, Miles.
Oh,
That was
I do, but it's not actually funny. Like, if you really think about it.
Gene Hackman's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
He's
when he's
so
talking
good.
about, like, killing kids with cigarettes, and he's like,
What's the best part of childhood? Smoking.
Ray Liotta is actually really fucking funny in this too.
Yeah,
His
he
character doesn't really make much sense, but he's pretty funny. There's a lot of really funny moments of them, especially like in the, I'd say the third act, but really like the 13th act of this film.
Yeah, I think this movie has a lot of pacing issues. I mean,
Yes.
well, the biggest
Well,
problem
well-
is they try to portray him as, like, a nice guy, but also a guy who runs a chop shop. And then, like, they literally ask him, oh, yeah, hey, do you know how to, like, cover up this body to make it look like he just died naturally?
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, of course I do. I'm from Jersey. It's like, what? Where did
I
that
don't think
come
they ever
from?
tried to portray him as a nice guy, though.
No.
Like,
No,
hey,
he's very douchey.
I think the point is he ends up with who he should actually be with. Like, they were perfect for each other from the start.
But
right?
but were they?
yeah, because
yeah.
they're both assholes.
Before we get super far into this,
Mm-hmm.
we should do a quick plot breakdown, best as we can. There's
Yeah.
a lot going on. I think we could simplify. Ron, it's your movie. Would you like to give a quick
Sure.
2-sentence plot breakdown for this movie?
Mother and con duo try to do one last con before they part ways. The mother's very overbearing, and then the daughter is trying to be independent, but neither of them were quite ready yet for that, and hilarity ensues. Yeah.
I do kind of want to do a quick initial impressions on the
Yeah.
film generally. And I want to go first because I feel like I have a lot to say and I'm going to make it really fast.
You don't have to. I mean, this is a podcast.
First and foremost, I actually kind of enjoyed this movie. Like, I thought it was really fun,
Yay.
but it's like kind of a disaster. It's so messy. There's like 16 subplots going on all at once. There's just too much happening all at the same time. And it's one of those movies where like I feel like it's ending like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, oh, it's wrapping up. Nope. Oh, it's wrapping up. Nope. Oh, it's wrapping up. Like it reaches its natural conclusion like 3 or 4 times in the final act of this movie. So I just think they needed to tighten up the script. Like it feels like 4 screenplays in one a lot of the time.
You know
It
what
does.
this movie feels like to me? It feels like a very condensed season of a TV show.
Yeah,
Right? Where it's like there's like little subplots here and there, and you got like these funny little bits, and it's like it's all kind of just thrown together and smashed together where there is an overarching story, but it's just a lot of little things.
Jason, you said kind of the opposite yesterday.
no, I didn't.
Where you said it felt like 4 seasons of
Yeah, I
television.
just said
Oh.
this movie had like enough plot for like 3 seasons of television, and I kind of stand by that. It just keeps going, and there's so many different things happening all the time. I wish I'm in the same boat as Blake. I had fun with it. There were moments that I thought were really funny, but I wish it was a little more focused and
45 minutes shorter.
maybe not even that. Just focus. If they were able to focus it and like expand upon some of the stuff, it could have been 2 hours, but as it stood, it felt way too long. It was just constant movement all the time.
It's just kind of disjointed, right? Like a
Yeah.
little bit. Like I think the main A and B plot lines don't really connect well. Where it's like basically there's the main thing of like they're trying to scan Gene Hackman, who's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Super funny. And Sigourney Weaver, honestly. They're the
Sigourney
best.
Weaver was hilarious in this movie.
Yeah. And so all of their stuff is really funny and works. Like all the gags and everything land for the most part. And then there's like Jennifer Love Hewitt and her love story with Jason Lee, which feels like
Forced?
a totally different movie. And yeah, totally forced.
And the issue there is Jason Lee's like a plot device, not a character.
Yeah,
'Cause he really doesn't
dude.
have any character.
He's
He kind of
just
just
an idiot.
He's
So-
the biggest dumbass in this movie, full of a lot of dumbasses.
But he also just he basically just says the right things to keep the plot moving.
Yes.
He doesn't really have personality or agency. If the movie needs him to be mad at Jennifer Love Hewitt, he's mad at her.
Yeah.
If it needs him to forgive her, he forgives her. And also, bro, like at the very end, really, after all this, you're gonna marry her again? Like
Dude, it's like that scene where she's late because they're going on a trip or something, and then he shows up and he's like, "Yeah," she's like, "Why did you wait?" and whatever, and he's like, "My friends have a theory. It's because I'm in love with you." And it's just like, what? Like, why, dude? Like, it's why? Other than like, I don't know, like she's around and she's terrible. Their whole thing is she's awful as a person. She's like mad. She's like freaking like bipolar as fuck. Like she's angry at him 1 second, she's like all over him, and then she like fucks off. I don't know. It's like
she causes him to crash his car.
And the
she
wild
pushes him into a ditch.
the wild thing is like his friends don't even like care. They're
No.
like there's
Oh,
no scene
yeah.
of like him and his friends where they're like, well, are you sure about this woman? Like, she really doesn't treat you that great.
Well,
like
It really,
I'm
sorry. Yeah.
it's
I really wanted a scene where like the 4 of them hung out and like they all got to know each other and like we got to see them fall in love and then his friends like be like, okay, I kind of see why. Like for her to like be herself for once and be
Yeah.
honest and real, but like there was none of that.
So
She
you
just
can-
lied to him the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, so you can see why he actually likes her.
Yes.
Like, yes, okay, he's attracted to her. Understandable.
why she actually
but
likes
then
him,
It's like,
too.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, I can kind of see more why she likes him because he's not just like lusting after her like all these other like, airheads that she's puppeting around and stuff. And he's a little bit more like down to earth, and it's like, okay, I could see that, but then it's like, there's never a good reason. It's like, now why should you be together? Like, if anything, if it kind of, I think, took her off the path of being a con person, and she kind of was like, I'm gonna go do something else or something, I feel like that could be more interesting. But like, I don't know, so that's why I don't have a problem with the length, because I'm like, I think the length is a fine. It's just that it was just mismanaged, I think.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
so that's a correction that I think I would make in this film. So that whole, I guess, final part of the movie where they decide, okay, we're going to con him now, right? We're going to get money out of him. I think that if they had set it up so he comes clean or she comes clean to him, right? She tells him, hey, we're in trouble right now. Like, there was this misunderstanding. My mom's a con artist. She taught me how to con, and it went bad with this guy. And now there's somebody who's holding that over our head unless we can get the money together. But we think that we can get him to go away, and then gets him to kind of go along with the con instead. And then it's a duplicitous double con thing going on. That would have at least been interesting to me.
I think,
and then like they grow closer together, and then she finally like decides, no, I'm out now.
I mean, that could have been good, or something, even just him like maybe coming to terms with who she is, but then being like, but you know, I just don't think I can trust you, or something. I don't know, just a little bit. But like going back to the conversation about his friends, from what I remembered, I thought the friends were more like confrontational, or at least a little bit more like somewhat like gave her some resistance, but they really don't at all.
They say like
there's
you gotta let
one
her
scene.
go.
Yeah, they're like,
there's one
go,
scene
man.
where they're about to go to like some game or something.
Yeah. And it's like, I thought that they would at least be a voice of reason of being like, dude, she sucks. Like, she's crazy. But they're like, nah, I like her too. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why?
Also, this scene right here, did everybody else call it this was Barbara?
Oh yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
It's the bank scene where
the IRS
the
shows up.
IRS
We got
shows
a real
up.
Judy
Bancroft.
Bloom here.
I was like, yeah, no, they're definitely like this is like
Conning.
a con thing. Like I kind of figured that was what was going on. It gets revealed later, but it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's fair. And then it has the double con thing where she's actually does con them and takes all their money.
And then
Which
it ends
leads
with
Allegedly.
Yeah, which ends with her being conned by Ray Liotta, who's now teamed up with Sigourney Weaver's character, which I do really like that ending, actually. I think that's fun. That's like, yeah.
That was a fun ending. I hated the ending with, the other two.
Yeah.
Because she's just like, my name's not Jane, it's Paige.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you get. There's no payoff for their relationship whatsoever. It's fucking... it's just so frustrating because that aspect of the movie could have been very good, but
Yeah. Whenever they show up and they start playing the soft, like late 90s or
Yeah.
2000 music, it's just like, oh, God.
You love her. You looked at stars with her once.
Yeah. It's
And
like,
also, conversely, the only thing I know about this guy is that he likes looking at stars.
yeah.
I don't even know if his friends are supposed to be like his workers or his friends. Like they're always at the same exact spot at the bar.
They live in his basement. He
They're
keeps them
probably
chained up.
both.
I don't know if they're like servers at the bar and restaurant.
Yeah, they're just there.
Yeah, they're always in the exact same spot too. It's just I don't know. It's not very well thought out.
Okay, well, maybe let's focus on what works in this movie, because we touched on that before.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman is so funny in this. His like coughing fits.
He's really a hack man.
Honestly, though, as much as he works, he gets kind of old after a while.
Was that a pun?
No. No, like the shtick gets a little bit old. Like the
I
constant
thought it was
hacking.
funny the whole way.
I disagree. In fact, when he dies, I was like, like he doesn't get to be around anymore. I thought he was gonna come back. Like I thought, seriously, like I forgot. I was like, wait, did they bring him back, or did they resuscitate him and then he dies again or something? But no, he does just die, and it's like, I felt like a little like I was gonna miss his character.
This is legitimate in God. The rest of it's paperwork.
Yeah.
Also, his maid just gets fired.
Yeah.
There's no resolution.
That was funny, I thought, or because she's like, look into my eyes, sir, and like, please believe me, and then he's just like nodding, and then she's in cuffs, and then he's getting carried away. He like,
I'm surprised there wasn't a subplot where she breaks out of prison and we follow her too.
but like he tips the cop like some cash. He's like, if at all possible, could you rough her up a bit? It's like, he's great.
Well, also, there's no actual scene of the daughter becoming the new, she becomes the new maid, but she never does any like maiding in this.
She kind of
It's
just
like,
gets the job, and then we never really see her. there
it
again.
seems like a pointless kind of like, I understand why they did it. It's because like, oh yeah, that's how she's gonna fulfill her role in the plot, right? but like it seems unnecessary and it just doesn't lead to anything. And just
I
another
mean,
scene where it's like, okay,
back
that
to
happened.
what works. Is there anything else that works in
Sorry.
this movie? I like Ray Liotta, but I don't know if he works as so much as he's just entertaining.
I think he works. I think he's actually very funny in this. I'm trying to think of another comedy that he's been in, and I don't know. But
What's the Wild Hogs?
Wow, he was in Wild
Oh,
Hogs.
yeah.
Isn't he like the villain?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh my god! But
I
I
saw
think
the movie in theaters.
I think this is like
Me
one of
too.
his first comedies. And I thought he was really funny. Like his kind of frantic, like angry, like his again the opening scene I thought was like hilarious. Like his like frustrated, like flustered energy and everything to like when he's like when he's holding her like running down the hallway and he's like slowly running, and then they cut to like a long shot and he's just like super far away just running at her. He's struggling with the key and she licks his ear and he just fucking kicks down the door. He's like, okay, whatever. He's just like and then where he just says like puts the ice in his pants. I thought that was funny. I thought he totally worked. He even worked as like I thought they were gonna play up more like his him being like a villain, or I guess like he shows up and he's like he's like fuck you guys. I thought it was pretty good.
Well, he comes
overall.
off as a nice guy at the end. He's like, I don't want to scam this guy.
I think he has like a come to Jesus moment, right?
I don't even think it's a come to Jesus moment. Like they tried to play him off as being a genuinely nice guy towards the end. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
I don't think they did, because he ends up like becoming a con artist himself. Like I think he's just
I
a
think
dirtbag.
that's their last job, though, right? Because he says to her something along the lines of like, "No more conning."
Yeah. No, he wants her to quit the con business. He wants
they
her
were-
to be a stand-up
he's
chop shop.
Yeah,
owner.
he's like no more conning. From now on, you be an honest wife. Like no, you work like an honest living. Like chopping up cars.
I think he's another character, another aspect of this movie that I think could have worked really well, but doesn't. I think they're trying to give him almost like a frenemy vibe to their team.
Yeah.
'Cause he shows up looking for revenge and then realizes he can benefit, and he does also still really want to fuck Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
So he ends up just being like this third act wild card.
Yeah.
And it's fine mostly because he's just so fucking funny.
Look at all the
But-
fish. Start shooting.
But I wish he was, I don't know, better written.
Yeah, he could have done more at the end because it really does feel like he's like once he shows up, it does add like a more interesting dynamic to like. And now they're a trio, and then it kind of just sputters out like it's weird. Yeah. Oh, right now though, it's there's the one scene before where he's like looking at the picture of her and then he like smashes it and then his worker's like it's like the 8th frame this week. Maybe it's time to retire this photo.
Yeah.
There's like tons of I think all the gags work, like they all land for the most part. Like
I thought
Yeah.
that they were ridiculous to a certain, like every single time that they do like a minor con, it's like ridiculous and it doesn't look like, it looks so obvious and it's like I don't know. It just kind
I don't know.
of it kind of
It's
irks
fine.
me. Like
the glass in the food works pretty
like
well,
they aren't pulling like an Ocean's 11 like
No.
level of like conning here.
I
Like this
do-
is like a I don't know. What was that movie we watched? Not Leaving Las Vegas.
Matchstick Man.
Matchstick Men. This is like a worse Matchstick Men.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Aside from the con thing.
I didn't watch that one, so I don't know.
I mean, there is a parental relationship, and
Yeah.
it's about conning. This is like the
I do
girls'
like
version.
I do like the fact that they just never pay for anything. Like
pick
I
up the
think
check.
that's funny. Like regardless, yes, it could have been like better the way they con their way through things, sure. But I think that whole running gag is really funny. Like just how immediately they know how to not pay for something and it works every time is funny.
But
they
they're-
show up at the
they're just
hotel,
like-
she just trips. Which
Yeah.
apparently she broke her finger.
Yeah,
Oh,
she,
shit.
fell.
she was supposed to do like a bunch of card tricks in this movie, and then she wasn't able to because her finger was broken.
Like right away, she broke her finger.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
I really would have.
But honestly, because that also made the card trick scene at that dinner or whatever they're getting lunch
Yeah.
feel way out of place.
Yeah.
Because she does it and then it's like, oh, it felt weird. Honestly, it felt kind of awkward and tacked on in that scene, and then it makes it feel even more tacked on because she doesn't do anything else. It's just to show like she's a con lady.
See,
But, like,
They
There
should have
probably-
edited that shit out.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't have been in the movie.
There was probably originally a scene like we were talking about where the friends of the bar owner, I forget what his character's
Break
name.
her fingers and defend her.
Jack.
No,
Jason Lee.
Jason Lee's, yeah, where his friends, have a poker night, and then she joins them for a poker night, and that's where they get to know each other, and she's doing all of her card
And
tricks
she's
there.
like slowly conning them out of all their money and stuff
Exactly.
because she can't help it. It's just like second nature. Yeah, that would have been cool. That again, and have her a reason, a red flag for his friends to be like, what the fuck? Like this, something's up with this chick. Like she's weird. More than just like, being inconsiderate and like a dick kind of most of the time. Like especially when they first meet, she's just an asshole.
well, she's
And then
like
he's
totally
like-
bipolar.
Yeah, and they're like, dude, that chick sucks. And he's like, I don't know. I think she's just scared being on her own for the first time. It's like, what the fuck are
Why?
you talking
Yeah,
about?
how do
Like,
you know that?
Yeah, like what are you talking about? She's a dick. Like this is a town that's famous for rich assholes. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I think that he's totally like a vibes type person, and he just for some reason was picking
Yeah.
up like good vibes off of her.
Her
Yeah.
vibe was great the first time. She just
Oh, yeah.
talks down to him immediately. She's like, oh, well, you're
So
trying to pick me
why
up.
did you walk over here and ask to buy me a drink? Yeah, real inviting.
Yeah. And then when she's choking, which also one of my favorite gags, when she like the olive pops out and it hits the mama's
Yeah.
boy eye, and he's like, ah! It's like, mommy! He's like, it stings, mommy! It's so funny.
The problem is we knew so little about either of those characters beforehand, other than the fact that he's a doctor and a mama's boy.
Oh, no,
right?
I thought that was fine. That was
it's
like
just
That's
thrown
all
in
you
for
need
the
to
gag.
know.
Yeah, for that gag, and because it's not like they're showing up again. I thought that was perfectly funny. Like she tried to, con this guy, and then after her mom already said like it's not worth it because he's a mama's boy, and then it works. Like I thought that was like a good, like single use of that dude. But then she switches her attention to Jason Lee, and then that should have been a more like thought out plot. But it's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, that's the B plot of the movie. It should have made sense.
It's weird because it's actually like the A plot of the movie. It just pretends to be the B plot at the beginning.
Also, he's
It kind of does feel like it becomes the A plot
towards the
yeah,
end.
Yeah. It's just pretending to be the B plot. Like,
Yeah.
no, if you really look at it, like, it's about true love, right? Or
guess.
them finding love, true love, right?
I mean, I
That's
think
what they were going for
Yeah.
sure.
So,
I
so
feel-
what's the relationship that is like the loving relationship, right? It's about the daughter breaking away from her mother, this
Yeah.
whole movie, right? Trying to break away, break free, and then eventually falling into the pitfall of instead of becoming a con artist, she falls in love with the guy.
I think the main part of the movie, or I guess I think what the heart of the film is intended to be is between the mother and daughter, right? And then there's like the wedges that come between them, which is the lack of trust because they're both con artists. And then the fact that like, she doesn't want her to fall into the same pitfalls that she did when she was young, which I like that they actually, the two times they kind of bring that back around where she's like she tells her like, I got knocked up and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, I'm not that stupid. And it's kind of like, oof, like that was a harsh thing for her to say, for Jennifer Love Hewitt's character to say for Paige. And then later when the mom like is like saying like, well, last time I did that, like I got knocked up, and then she's like, oh, and that's just the worst thing that ever happened to you. And it's like, oof, because that's also kind of fair to what, like, she's strongly comparing like having a kid like ruined my life, and she's kind of like, well,
I'm that fucking kid.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like that was actually fair. I think their relationship and their chemistry is actually pretty good. Like it's
Yeah,
believable.
they work well.
Even though Jennifer Love Hewitt's not the best in this, like I feel like she could have been like, I don't know. Maybe,
she's fun. I
Yeah.
like her enough. I think she's fun.
Yeah.
I love Jennifer Love Hewitt because I love Ghost Whisperers, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah,
that was
like,
the first
she's not-
TV show I was ever into.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first show I watched week to week.
That's so funny. That's interesting. Huh. Anyway, that's
Can I bring up something totally random?
yeah.
Is the waiter at the Russian restaurant Mr. Ditovich?
He's definitely been like the Russian guy in like a million things, but I'm not sure which one. Mr. Didovich. What?
The landlord in Spider-Man 2.
Oh yes,
That's him, right?
Yeah, that's
Rent.
him.
There's a lot of
Rent.
people in this movie. Mrs. Robinson, Mr. Didovich.
Dude, even the guy who they try to get to buy a drink for them or whatever.
Kevin something, right?
Kevin Nealon. I think no.
Neely.
I forget his name, but that guy's been in a bunch of stuff. and
Oh,
he's-
what? Carrie Fisher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher's in the one scene.
A lot of people in this movie.
Yeah, the Zach Galifianakis one. I was like, I had no memory of that. I was like, Sarah Silverman. I'm like, oh, I vaguely remember that. And then Zach
That's because all
Galifianakis.
they do is sit in
Well,
a
I
bar.
don't,
they
I
really-
don't think
they
that
never
Zach
even moved
Galifianakis
anything.
was a household name at that point.
No,
No.
definitely not. But like, I didn't even remember that he was in this.
Yeah, he's definitely
funny.
not playing like what you would expect.
And
No.
he's
He's
such
playing
a,
just like a
he's
normal
such a
dude.
minor
Yeah.
like B-roll.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Speaking of the Russian restaurant, though,
yeah.
honestly, I didn't like anything about that scene.
That's
it
the-
was kind of annoying. I hate her Russian accent throughout this whole thing. I think that every time they tried to play it for like a joke,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't work. It was just like, okay, whatever.
I'll agree. That's like I have a question here where I'm like the scene that I like didn't want to see the most, I guess, or that I was like kind of dreading. That was a scene that I vaguely remembered. I was like, I think this is like, I don't know. I think it's just because it's awkward. It's kind of cringy humor, that's fine. Like that can work, but
It's
just
not good cringe.
it wasn't. It was like the weakest, I think, of their storyline and everything. I was like, it's all right. I think that the general gag it's funny, right? Because she was faking a Russian accent, which whatever, sure, they do that.
They didn't
con
use
artists.
it
A
well,
bad
though.
Russian accent too, and he
Yeah.
like doesn't notice.
Yeah, and then it's the fact that she's in the Russian restaurant, and then she gets put on the spot. Like he doesn't, like I don't know. It kind of felt like,
It does play into the whole con though, and getting it done fast, right? Because
Yeah.
she does pull they're like deporting me. And
Even though
he's
that didn't matter and he was going to propose to her anyways, I guess.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
but-
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Like what Jason's saying. It does add to the pressure of it happening fast. Because I think this takes place over the course of like a month. I think she says because she's like, I think this guy's already going to propose to me. Like it's a month. Like that's like a new record. And you're like, wow. So there's that. So there's a lot of unseen stuff, which is kind of crazy. But it's like,
And the other point of the deportation thing, I think, was even if he was going to propose to her, they need to, make it a quick wedding. It needs to happen like in 2 days. It can't wait for a month of going back and forth with lawyers and paperwork.
Well, I guess
with
that
prenups.
happens with
I mean-
Jennifer Love Hewitt and fucking
Yeah.
Jason Lee, though. Seems like they
Yeah.
get married the next day, and I'm like, holy shit.
And also, we don't
Yeah.
know when their wedding would be because he died like 2 minutes later.
yeah,
So-
he dies. Like,
Well, no, she literally
he kills
says,
himself on a stone penis.
yeah, she literally says, I'm going to be deported like tomorrow.
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, when is it going to be? Tomorrow. And it's like, which was funny but ridiculous.
So, like, I mean, theoretically, they were probably going to go down to the courthouse in the morning, or at least that was like the plan that she would have had.
Yeah.
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 And then there would be like no time for a prenup or anything, right? Mm-hmm. So I think for the con, I think her playing a Russian works.
The plan I think makes sense, right? And then
Yeah.
even they got the maid fired, which I don't know. And then the Jennifer Love Hewitt's going to be the new maid, and presumably you can see what they were going to do, and it makes sense.
And then it all kind of just falls apart, and they've got to
dies.
go on their fallback plan, which
Fake his death. Well, I think they're just like, oh my god, like how are we going to do this? Which they never revisit again, which is also kind of, it feels weird too. It just feels like that plot just immediately stops, and then it pivots to then now it becomes the A plot is Jennifer Love Hewitt and that guy's relationship, and I think that's also what adds to that. Where it's just it feels like so off, like it's like what, like I don't know. It's very unsatisfying, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but in like a rom-com thing, like I don't know, it feels like they should have figured out something
Well,
else.
I
Maybe
think
I don't know.
part of what makes it feel long and false endings and all is this. You have the climax where the A plan goes sour, and it's like, okay, oh, this is going to go sour. Jennifer Love Hewitt's going to confess. All's going to be well. Movie's going to wrap up. Nope. We're going to con Jason Lee. Okay. He's going to say no to Sigourney Weaver. True love will be proven.
Yeah.
All's going to be well. Nobody's going to end. Nope. Sigourney Weaver does that thing. And it's just like, oh my God, is this movie ever going to end? Like, it just kept it kept going on and on. I'm like, you've had 3 opportunities to end this on a pretty as neat as this story is going to get. No.
Yeah.
They draw it out all the way through them succeeding with the con, and then they're finally like, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, there's usually a formula to a con film, right? And it's just there's the planning stage. You know what the plan is. It goes wrong. Something changes, and then they
reveal that nothing ever actually went wrong.
Or either nothing actually went wrong, or they figured out another way to deal with it or something, right? And it's I think that's where they really fumbled. Is that something goes wrong, and then they're just I don't really know. It's it feels like they had the gag of him dying, and they didn't know how to do anything else after that.
That should have been the climax of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And in a way, it kind of was, but
there's still 40 minutes after it.
No, they should have found some way to wrap Jason Lee up in that as well, and put a nice little, give it 10 more minutes, and then fucking done. You know,
that's why I think that they should have done the kind of 2-sided con, right? Where what's his name? God, I'm bad with names.
Jason Lee.
No, not Jason Lee.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta. Yes, Ray Liotta. No, where Ray Liotta is basically putting pressure on them, and they're scared out of their minds, and they go to Jason Lee, and because he knows the town to get help, right? Mm-hmm. And then he helps them reverse con Ray Liotta, right?
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Yeah, where it's they tell him, oh yeah, we're gonna con this guy. He's got a $3 million property, and then they use that to reverse con Ray Liotta, so that they've got stuff to hold over his head, so that he can't reveal anything about them.
That would have been funny, but then that kind of spoils the idea of their happy ending with, I guess because in this one, almost everyone gets a happy ending except for Gene Hackman, who just dies. But everyone kind of is happy at the end.
Well,
and
I think that Ray Liotta's,
and I feel that's what, I don't know if that's a studio thing. They were just well,
it's just the way these comedies went at this time.
Well, if I were to do a full rewrite, the one thing I would keep is I actually do like that Ray Liotta.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I like that they end up together at the end because they are kind of perfect for each other.
It doesn't make sense to me though. I didn't feel the chemistry at all. To be
They're
honest,
the only ones I actually felt the chemistry
I was
between.
Say they felt like they worked together very well. Is Jason Lee and Jennifer Love Hewitt that doesn't make sense?
Yeah.
I think they should have not ended up together.
And it works thematically too because the whole time Sigourney Weaver is trying to protect Jennifer Love Hewitt from falling in love with a con target, and then she ends up doing it herself.
And they even plant that seed early on where she's like, no, he was cute. Where she was saying that he was ugly. He's like, he's not ugly. You can tell from the beginning she kind of did have some feelings for Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
And they're in the same line of business, right?
Well,
yeah, basically.
I think that the Jennifer Love Hewitt thing, I see her side of the attraction, right? Because
she's not attracted to Jason Lee.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. It's Jason Lee. But no, it more so comes down to he's somebody who she feels is trusting, simple. She doesn't have to worry about betraying her, right? She doesn't have to worry about him betraying her. She feels like she can actually trust him, let her guard down a little bit, and that he'll just eat up any line that she gives him. And she likes that about him. So I see why she's attracted to him.
Yeah, I could get that. But it's the other way that doesn't make any sense. And I think that's why it would have made more sense that they don't end up together, because she would have been because he's such an honest, he seems like such an honest, decent dude. Again, we don't really know that much about him. Yeah, we don't really know anything really about him.
He might be a serial killer.
Maybe he's just stoned out of his mind this whole movie.
Yeah, and then at the end, she just falls for him, and I feel like there would have been a little more, there's a little more poetic if he finds out that she was trying to con him this whole time, and then she's trying to double con him really, and it's she is liking him, and there's the classic sitcom thing of oh, it started that way, but then I actually liked you, or blah blah blah. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like they already are doing that with the Ray Liotta Sigourney Weaver storyline.
Yeah.
That it's like, it feels like they're double dipping, and they just want to make sure that she ends up happy, when it's like, really, she could have just ended up like just going out on her own,
Yeah.
right? Starting a normal life, doing whatever else
Yeah,
that
it could have
means.
ended with Sigourney Weaver retiring and letting her daughter
Yeah,
go off
exactly.
and-
Yeah. And then, or even if she
But
continues
really, it's the
conning-
opposite,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. I feel like that there's, that's like one of the major things that could have probably, it's like that shift, and it was shaved off like 20 minutes from the movie, and it could have been cleaner just overall. I don't know. There's the gag right now where like she puts the tire strip, and then she accidentally like runs off Jason Lee from the road and everything.
How is Jason Lee like not like? How come you're showing up in my life every 20 minutes now?
Yeah.
Which he does, but doesn't question further than
Doesn't
that.
question it at all. He's just like, that's weird. Whatever.
Oh, you're hiking around in like quicksand. Strange.
In the cocktail dress and heels in the middle of like the freaking Everglades. Like, what the fuck?
Sure, why not?
She's like, she's clearly lying, and he's just like, all right.
I
Like,
know you're not environmentalist.
It's like, dude, doesn't take.
Don't you wonder what she is then?
Yeah, exactly. Never once bothers to like follow up. Like, you want to like.
Jason Lee's not a character. It's almost like they wrote the script and were like, we'll give him like better motivation later. We just need him to like exist as a character.
Yeah.
And then never got it around to actually updating him.
No, it's there really is like Jason Lee is like he's a pretty funny dude, and I think that's what shines through is like he has like a couple.
I don't
good
even find him that
quips
funny
here
in
and
this
there.
movie though.
Well, there's like a little like right here at the sign when she's like, "You go fix the tire, do this," and he's like, "Listen, it's like I'm open to being dominated, but like let's give it some time first." Like that was a funny line. Like, and he has a couple like that, but then it's like, that's all he has. That's literally it, and so it's like, I don't know. There's a lot
He's
of
just an idiot.
Yeah.
Like that's all he is. He's just a dumb person. And it gets kind of tiresome by the end.
If they had more balls, they would have like had that follow up with like, again with him getting scammed and everything, and then just feeling she could have really seen and felt the repercussions of that, because up until now she hasn't given a shit about any of the people they've scammed. That's the point, right?
Yeah, because
And then-
like
And
typically
also-
in movies like this. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, at the end, how the hell did she manage to get all of his friends on board with like staging a surprise party to return his like
I mean, I guess
restaurant to him?
in their eyes and his eyes, he cheated on her on their wedding night, and then
Her cousin.
with her cousin, and then they think like, oh well, she's taking him back. I guess that's a good thing, and I don't know.
Don't question why I have the money to buy this bar back. Let's throw a surprise party.
They're like, what does she do for a living? No idea. What is she really like? I don't know. Is he gonna have to tell all of her friends? By the way, she lied about her name isn't Jane, it's actually Paige.
Yeah.
Like what? They'd be like, what? Like, I don't know. Does he? I don't even remember. Does she like tell him that she was a con artist?
Well, she says that her name's actually
No,
Paige.
she there's no follow up or anything. There's no
Yeah.
like.
there's no like redemption where
Yeah.
she's like, I'm so sorry about this. I actually truly fell in love with you. Like, I wish that they had that corny scene.
They could have done
Yeah,
something,
right.
It kind of reminds me of. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. Go.
Typically in movies like this, there will be a moment where he would realize that she is
Yes,
conning
yes.
him,
Yeah.
and then that's what she has to overcome to get him back. Like, listen, like I fucked up, but I do really love you.
Yeah.
That's where I assumed this was going, but no, he's just too fucking stupid.
Or
He's
too
too stupid to
accepting.
realize.
She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
My name's actually Paige. What?
And he's like,
Okay.
okay, yeah, like, that sounds good to me. Like,
I knew your name wasn't Jane.
this sort of reminds me of Bridesmaids almost, where Kristen Wiig is like, she's kind of really back and forth, and she kind of really sucks for the Irish guy. I forget his name. He's an Irish comedian dude. He's very funny, and he plays the cop in it. And then there's like a whole thing about where she basically does betray him, kind of like she kind of fucks him over, and she really goes out of her way to be like, I'm sorry, like what I did was wrong, and she really tries to earn him, get him back. And yeah, none of that's here. And they just gloss over it in like 2 minutes, where she's just like, I forgive you for something that we, we totally entrapped you and drugged you. By the way, my mom drugged you. Like,
Yeah,
it's like
that wasn't my cousin. That was my mom.
yeah, it's like, isn't he gonna find out about this and gonna like eventually question like, why is your cousin always around? Oh, that's your mom. Wait, what the fuck? Like, it's like there's a whole brand of this movie that just like, I don't know, there's a whole side of it that doesn't make any sense. And it's just, and I don't know, it undermines a lot of it. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do we have more to talk about, or do we want to get into final thoughts?
What about the questions?
Oh,
Ask her on the questions.
I think we went through all the. Oh. How often you rewatch this?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've rewatched this. I want to say at least 10 years. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do remember rewatching it at least like 2 or 3 times around when it came out, because I thought it was very funny and I liked it a lot. And I think it holds up for the most part.
I was just going to ask you that.
Oh, sorry. Go.
How does it hold up?
I think it holds up for the most part.
And would you still consider this to be a guilty pleasure? Has it graduated, been demoted?
It's weird because parts of it are like even kind of funnier than I remembered, or at least like that they definitely hold up. Like, again, all the Gene Hackman stuff and Sigourney Weaver, like they kill it. And then all the Page stuff with Jason Lee is just worse than I even remember. Like, it's just dumber and drags the movie even more than I remember doing back then. So it's like, yeah, like I think I would still qualify it as a guilty pleasure overall.
Watch it many more times in your life?
Yeah, I think I'll rewatch it again.
What about you guys? You guys going to rewatch this anytime soon?
I might in a couple years just to
This is a Miles
show it
movie.
off. Honestly, no. Yeah, it's weird. I actually I enjoyed watching this movie. I don't like the movie, but I enjoyed watching it. No, I a lot of the comedy fell flat for me. The storyline was, I don't know. It was nothing, but this is an easy watch movie where you can just put it on, don't have to care about it. It's great.
Smarter than your Wes Anderson movies you like so much.
It is an easy watch, I'll say. It's like I wasn't like, well, I guess maybe until like the last 15, 20 minutes or so, where it starts to get a little but for the most part it does feel kind of breezy, just like, okay, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, this feels like you could have this on in an office waiting room, and
I mean, there's still some racy stuff, I guess, but it's not that bad. It's not like,
no, it's really not.
Yeah, this is like right before all of the raunchy kind of Judd Apatow branch of humor stuff, where I think, yeah, if this came out even 5 years later, it would have been a very different movie.
I'd still consider this to be kind of a sex pervert movie.
A little bit. A little.
Yeah, I'd probably rewatch it. I'd rewatch this again, but again, I think I'd rather watch parts of it.
Yeah.
Again, just pull up a clip on YouTube and be like, "This is a funny scene."
Or jump a chapter.
Yeah, just cut the movie off 20 minutes early because I get bored of it. But I think there's some good stuff in it.
No one's buying the Criterion.
No.
I wouldn't buy the Criterion, but honestly, I think I might buy a Blu-ray of this. I don't think I would even go 4K. I'm just if there's a bargain bin, I'd be yeah, I'll get it. I'll buy it.
Probably has a Blu-ray release. I don't know if I'd rewatch it, to be honest. And I didn't even totally hate it. I actually, really, really quick, spent a lot of time thinking about how I wish this movie, I know it's a comedy first and everything else second. I wish it took itself a little more seriously. And I could kind of see this with a tighter screenplay. I could almost see it being like a Coen Brothers kind of movie, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They like the whole kooky, criminal kind of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And I could see them doing a mother and daughter thing. That's not too far off from some of the ideas they've had.
Totally agree with you. I like the way that you phrase that, where it's it's just a little bit too.
Yeah, that's why I was gonna agree with you earlier, but I don't know, everyone else had something to say. But when you're saying the cons are a little too silly, I agree. I wish they were a little more serious and had a little bit of stakes to them. Because I think if you this movie took itself just a little bit more, 20% more seriously, it could have been a real standout crime thriller black comedy.
And I feel the comedy felt more natural. Like that's the one reason I really don't like the Russian restaurant scene, right? Because it just makes all the comedy feel forced and unnatural. It's like, okay, they're gonna put them into this situation so that she has to pretend to be Russian, but she's got to eat like disgusting food. And then like the waiter is like, "Oh, you're not really Russian, are you?" And she's like, "Da." And it's like that drags on for way too long. Then they ask her to get up and sing, and they're like, "There's no true Russian who wouldn't know this song." And it's like, okay, we get it. You're just like doing this all at once. It feels so forced and annoying.
They could have like skinnied up that scene a bit. Like, funny enough, I was gonna say like I think for the most part the writing in this is decent. There's a couple like that bit doesn't really land that well, but the relationship dynamic between like the mother and daughter stuff works really well. And I think that like I just remember recently I think Sigourney Weaver was talking about how she's like when I get onto like a film or whatever, she's also like she considers herself to be a writer as well. So she's like, or she's a writer. So she's like, I help rewrite scripts as I work on them and stuff. So I feel like that's why their dynamic works really well because they figured it out. Apparently, the original idea for this movie was a father-son duo, and then it turned into a mother-daughter duo, and I think that really works.
It makes them seem less scumbaggy that they're a mother-daughter. I know that sounds bad. But
No, maybe. I think there's like definitely a societal perception, right? And
I don't know.
and
Sigourney Weaver's kind of an awful person.
she kind of is. Yeah,
I
but
mean,
if it was a father-son, they would seem even more awful.
I think it's harder to sympathize with. Like, it's a woman that was like a single mother on her own that was trying to survive. There's like a little bit more leeway, I think, where you're like, okay, you know, they're trying to get money, and they do suck. And I think that is they're pretty open about it, being like they're not good people. Like they're clearly like, you know, scamming every single person they can. But there is a little bit more sympathy, I think, with them being women. I think because it's like they're taking advantage of these guys that are trying to take advantage of them. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit easier to, if it was like two guys and they're scamming like some lonely old widow, then suddenly it's like it feels a little nastier. And that's also why I think they double down on Gene Hackman being a shitty person. Like, you know, he's like, yeah, we're trying to get kids to smoke, you know. Like, he's like,
well, yeah,
he literally kills his pet parrot by like blowing smoke in its face. Yeah,
that was funny.
A lot of kick the dog with him.
Yeah, he literally, this opening scene, he's like attacking a cat that like shows up and he's like, yeah, get out of here, and he's like whacking at it and he's like, like coughing, dying. So funny.
Do you agree with what I said though about the script taking itself a little more seriously and maybe being something
I think it could have gone either way, right?
more silly or more serious?
Maybe not more silly, but just like structure it a little more like Wedding Crashers, maybe, you know? And keep this like style of comedy, because I don't have a problem with this style of comedy existing. I think movies like this can work, and I think Wedding Crashers is a good example of that.
Yeah.
But
would you call Wedding Crashers a good movie though?
I call it a very funny
would.
movie. Yeah, it's.
I mean, it might be funny, but it's definitely not good.
That's what?
Who cares?
If it's a comedy and it's funny, why would you not
serving its purpose?
Yeah, why would you not consider it to be good? It's literally setting out what it's trying to do.
This is a rare like Miles and Blake team up episode. This doesn't happen very often.
Look, it's the same thing with horror films, right?
Okay.
You know, it's you need to have substance to your movie past just like the theme, right? Because comedy is more of a theme.
That happens
than
all
it
the
is,
time
like,
in horror movies.
You know,
all the time.
It's a genre film.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's a lot of those themes are explored through the genre. And I think with like Wedding Crashers or this movie, it's about like these two main characters that love and care for each other, but you know, they are kind of toxic for each other, and it's them discovering that balance.
The problem is when the comedy becomes detrimental to the story, which we've seen happen in this film.
I mean, I don't know. I think
it's
the plot becomes detrimental to the film by the
Yes.
end of it. Like the comedy is the best part.
No,
Like,
I mean, if you've got a good solid plot and then you layer good solid comedy on top of it, then the comedy is
sure.
not detrimental to it, right? The plot's the most important part.
Like Wedding Crashers.
I was gonna say that's like Wedding Crashers. It works because the plot services the comedy that services the plot, and it's just like
I don't know. That's too perverted of a movie for me. I haven't watched it since I was a teenager.
Actually, it's really pretty tame, honestly.
I haven't watched it in forever.
I
so.
was mentioning the Coen brothers specifically because I was thinking about their more comedic movies like Burn After Reading or Hail
Yeah.
Caesar, which
or
you know,
Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski, which get very, very ridiculous.
Or dude, sorry, Oh Brother, We're Out There. I think
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a very ridiculous movie.
like some of their movies are really funny and ridiculous and over the top. And I don't know. I just think that kind of vibe would have.
I get
agree.
that.
All the
I agree.
comedy in
But I
those
think
films supports the
It
plot.
could have
though.
worked in this style of movie as well, right? Like it could go either way.
I think the point is it's a comedy first and foremost, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, in this film, I think again, like I said, I don't know. I feel like the plot kind of dragged it down, especially the ending, where it's like I think they were like like you're saying, if they found a better balance and they added a little bit more like gravitas or a little more weight to it, then it probably would have rounded out to be a better movie. But it felt like they couldn't really figure out how to correctly balance that.
Yeah, that's Matchstick Men, right? Like because that's a comedy, and then it gets
Like a
pretty heavy at
Leaving
certain
Las
points.
Vegas, you know?
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
funny, very funny movie.
Such a funny movie.
Hell in Here, or what? Not Hell in Here. That's Batman. Was it The Hole You're In? You know what I'm talking about? That one
No,
shot.
no.
It's the shot when it says the whole year in, but he's like drunk, so he reads it as the whole you're in.
No, yeah.
Anyways, does anybody have anything else to say about Heartbreakers?
No.
I think
No.
I pretty much said it all.
Before we move into what we've been watching, should we do a vote for what the best guilty pleasure was?
Oh,
Sure.
I say the rules are just you can't vote for your own.
okay.
Okay.
All right, that's
Miles, you start.
God, that's a tough one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Heartbreakers.
Jason,
fair. Oh, dude, I don't because we all know what the best one is.
that is true.
Bad Boys 2. But
You can't vote for your
Yeah,
own.
I know,
I
your
know,
own.
but that's why this is hard.
Hey, I didn't vote for Bad
Honestly,
Boys 2.
I hated your movie and I hate Wolverine, so I'll go with Heartbreakers as well.
I'm gonna say Bad Boys 2.
Fuck
yeah.
yeah, dude.
I'm going to say Bad Boys too as well.
All right,
Okay.
Bad Boys 2, the winner of
Hey,
Guilty
Heartbreakers
Pleasure
tied.
Month.
Oh,
Tied.
Heartbreakers Time.
Oh,
Yeah.
just kidding. There's a tie. Shy is here. Did you watch Bad Boys 2?
I watched all the movies.
So
Oh.
which would you say is the better movie, Heartbreakers or Bad Boys 2?
So I think you know my answer.
Don't know what that means.
I
I
don't
didn't hear. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Here,
She's not
here.
mic'd up.
Here, come to the mic.
Heartbreakers or Bad Boys 2?
Drum roll.
Bad Boys 2.
Bad
Yeah.
Boys 2.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to send Michael Bay a certificate in the mail. Michael Bay, send us your P.O. box number.
Certified guilty pleasure.
We will send you a half a clue official award.
You want a
did
sticker? You can get you a sticker.
I will not certify that award.
it. You did it. I'll sign it. If that means anything. Anyways, let's get into what we've been watching. Miles.
Okay, so yeah, been watching some interesting stuff. I guess I watched a movie.
Oh my God.
Right? Doesn't happen often.
You watch
A guy
movies?
who hosts a movie podcast watched a movie.
Yeah. No, I watched Happy Gilmore 2. It was.
God.
It actually primed me for this
Jason,
movie.
what have you? No, I'm just kidding.
No, it actually primed me for this movie to enjoy it more because it was so bad. Like,
Okay.
literally, like the comedy was significantly worse than this film, and it just was a lot dumber. So when I watched this movie, almost immediately afterwards, I actually really was like, okay, I'm enjoying this. I can forgive a lot of like the bad comedy in here until the next morning.
You know what? Kind of speaking to the point that we were saying earlier, we're like a little more like weight. The last Adam Sandler comedy that I actually really enjoyed was Click, which I think struck a really good balance
Yeah.
of like there's the weight and it's tragic at the end, but it's also like it's very heartwarming and like touching, but it's also pretty funny. But
There
yeah,
hasn't been a good Adam Sandler movie since
Comedy.
The Waterboy.
it's comedy, but that's not true either.
I haven't watched it since it like came out, but I remember really liking Judd Apatow's Funny People, which I know is kind of poking fun at Adam Sandler's career, but it was an interesting movie.
I've not seen that one.
I haven't seen it either.
I think the last Apatow movie I watched was This Is 40.
That's after it. I think that's way after Funny People.
Oh, is
Actually,
it? I just
yeah,
didn't-
Funny
I
People
didn't-
was like 2009. It's
This
just,
is 40 is good. I like that movie.
isn't it a kind of a sequel to Knocked Up?
Yeah,
It's
it's
'cause
like
it's
a
Paul
spin-off
Rudd
basically.
and,
Yeah. And it's
Leslie Mann.
actually really kind of depressing. Like I think you would like that movie, Blake. You should
I'll watch
watch
it.
it.
Yeah, like I said, like when I remember watching it at the time, and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. But also, I remember thinking it was really long, and that I was like, I feel like when I'm older, I'll appreciate it more than
Funny
as
People-
a 19-year-old.
Funny People is also kind of a more sad one because that's like a movie about like Adam Sandler's basically playing himself, and he gets like diagnosed with cancer, and he looks back and he like could have been a real comedian, but instead he's like just in these like shitty movies, and it's just about how he regrets like everything. It's honestly, I haven't watched it since like 2009, but I remember really liking it when I saw it.
Wow.
Miles, did you watch anything else?
Yeah, so I've been watching Homeland still, and I am in the middle of season 8 right now, so almost done. Yeah, Homeland, it just does this weird thing where every time a new season starts, I'm like, God, I don't want to watch this show anymore. And then 3 or 4 episodes in, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to dig, this season. And then by the end of the season, I'm like, oh, that's like really good. Like they're really good at like making a solid climax for each season.
Yeah.
But are the seasons really necessary after the 3rd season? Not really. Yeah.
Jason.
I don't think I've watched it. Oh, I finished up season 1 of Fallout.
Oh,
What did you think?
I liked it. I thought that final episode was pretty awesome. You could tell Jonathan Nolan was involved. It felt very Westworldy, that whole episode.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into season 2 yet?
I have
Forget that
not.
he's in that.
Yeah.
Or that he was showrunner for that.
Yeah.
Season 2 is pretty solid. I enjoyed season 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know why. It literally took me years to finish this season of television. But like I started it like when it came out. I watched the first episode and incrementally I'll just watch an episode every now and then. But
It happens
your
that way.
time.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm excited because New Vegas is the only game I ever played in the Fallout games. So, and that's what season 2 is going to be based off of. So I'm excited. I'll probably have an update at some point about it. Maybe in a few years.
Nice. I watched 2 other movies this week. I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Nice.
Excellent film.
Yeah, I just want to rewatch it. I was actually originally I wanted to watch like a different Terry Gilliam movie. I was going to watch 12 Monkeys. And then I thought about watching Brazil, which I've never seen. But I really like Terry Gilliam. And then I was just like, I don't know. Then we're just like, let's watch Monty Python. So we did. And I was like, it's been a little minute since I watched it, and it was so funny. I was like, yes.
Underrated Monty Python film, The Meaning of Life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one, too.
It's not a great movie, but yeah, I found it funny.
I know there's some people that like will put Life of Bryan or Meaning of Life, like, like those 3 are
Life
just
of Brian's
funny,
probably
very
my favorite.
and then I also watched Man on Fire, rewatched Man on Fire, which is another one that came out around this time period, funny enough, like Heartbreakers, but like I haven't seen in a very long time, but I remember watching young and then rewatching it. It was like Rozie was like bawling at the end. She's like, why do we watch this movie? And I was like, because it's a damn good movie, dude. It's just like, it's so stylized and sleek. Like, have you guys seen it?
No, I don't even know what it is.
Man on Fire?
I saw it when it came out. Like,
Oh, dude.
So I should watch it.
Honestly, that might be a future pick for me because it's Tony Scott and it's just so good. And there's like, it's just Scott brothers were killing it in the early 2000s. It's just Denzel Washington. He's playing a bodyguard for young Dakota Fanning. And it's just really good movie. But the last thing I want to talk about is I started watching the series reboot or continuation of Scrubs.
Oh yes, I was watching a little bit of that too.
I was
really
nervous.
good.
I was nervous, but it's so good.
Yeah,
It's like it feels really like it's picking up exactly where Scrubs left off, and there's a lot of character things that kind of like feels like a step backwards for like a couple of the characters. I want to say, I don't want to give anything up, but it also feels very natural, like to the story, and like a lot of the characters, the way they're acting, a lot of the jokes and gags and stuff, like it fit really well. Which, unlike the original sequel series they did, which I hated that one. I like when I was rewatching Scrubs, like it was like last year or 2 years ago. And I got to the sequel series. I was like, I stopped watching it, but this time I'm going to try to finish watching it just to see. And I couldn't do it. Like I got like maybe 4 or 5 episodes in, and I was like, ugh, like I just didn't. It was terrible. Like I don't know. Most of the new characters sucked. Like none of the gags or anything. It didn't really work. But this show, it's like I think they hit the formula. They hit it really well. That's another one where it's like goofy and like very comedic, like classic Scrubs, but there's still that like weight to it that like is also part of what made classic Scrubs work so well. So I was like, yes, 3 episodes in, and so far I love it. If you liked Scrubs, I think you'll very much enjoy the new series, and I'm so happy to say that. I was nervous because they're like, oh, Bill Lawrence is coming back, and I was like, oh, that's good. And like the original cast and everything, I was like, that's also very good. But then I was still just like, these things, vast majority of the time, they never go well. So I was nervous, but
Well, they also removed a lot of the characters from like seasons 6 and 7 that they added in.
yeah,
Right?
it
Where
really feels like
They
it's kind
pared down the cast quite a bit.
yeah, it feels like they shaved off a lot of the excess and they kind of went back to what really worked about the original series, and in the best kind of way. And I'm like, I'm all for it.
Well, and I think that the way that they brought JD back in this time was great, and the specific kind of issue that they're addressing right now within the medical industry, I think they focus on it very well. I don't want to give anything away, but if you really look at like what's going on with like people coming out of medical school right now and the whole industry in general, where it's really shifting from being a very, very tough, like it's still a demanding and tough profession,
of course, yeah.
but there's more kindness in it now, and it's not sink or swim. It's, hey, you gotta help each other and uplift each other a little bit.
I'll say it is very interesting to see how they're addressing like modern medicine and modern like the climate of what it's like to work at a hospital now. It's different than it was 20 years ago, and I think they're addressing it really well, and I'm really just looking forward. And the new characters they've introduced, like they're not like there's no like real deep dives yet, but I'm liking them, like and that's not true for the last series.
Yeah, well, they've got just the right amount of goofiness to them.
Yeah,
where they're gonna play very well with like the whole format of the show.
Yeah, and the signature like tug on the heartstrings stuff where it's like, oh, okay, just like a little extra, a little more there to like kind of chew on, and it is good. So yeah. All right, Blake, what do you watch?
Would you get paid for that?
I know. Yeah, Disney's sending me a check.
Honestly, it's a really good show. I agree with Ron. It's worth watching.
That was like 10% of our episode just now.
Sorry, I was really excited because I just watched it last night, and I was like, yes, like I was just happy because Scrubs was one of my favorite shows, like back in the day. Talk about like shows I was really into back in the day. That was for sure.
We have to put one of those like includes paid sponsorship.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little ABC logo at the bottom of this episode.
Yeah, Disney, pick us up.
Yeah, for real.
I watched 2 films. I watched The Aristocats.
Ah, dude.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a cute Disney movie.
Toulouse.
It gets a little racist at the end, and by a little I mean a lot. Actually, it's. I remember watching it. I remember the whole movie. I was like, okay, like I know a lot of these old Disney movies can get a little iffy, and I was like, okay, I think we're in the. Oh my god,
Dude, respect to Disney for at least they put a little warning. They're like, listen, this movie was made in like the 50s. Like, just there's going to be some stuff here that doesn't hold up, but they don't cut it out. And I'm like, that's cool. I think there's been like very few exceptions where they've done that. But like for the most part, they're just like, it is what it is, and I'd prefer that rather than just like, no, we're just going to whitewash it and just like, color over those parts.
I think that's also a shifting mentality that we've got in media right now. Right, because for a long time it's like Community's a big example of that. They had an episode where you couldn't actually watch it for like 6-7 years, something like that.
I mean, there's a blackface
like,
episodes.
Well,
It's Always Sunny. That you can't watch on Disney Plus.
So they've had those episodes, and actually now like Hulu, you're able to watch all the episodes of Community, including the one that was basically censored for years, which. It's not a great episode anyways, so not worth watching. But and I think that they're doing that with a lot of media now, where they're realizing, hey, instead of trying to cover up, this past media, just allow us to have like a disclaimer about, hey, this is a time that it was made in, because we need to understand more, where this is coming from.
Well, what's interesting is that Disney actually for years and years got criticized for stuff like this, because for a very long time they kind of pretended like their not so good stuff never happened. Whereas Warner Brothers with like Looney Tunes and stuff was always very upfront. I remember people talking about this like 10 years ago, because Warner Brothers put out like a Blu-ray or something like 10 years ago, and it was like basically like just an enormous collection of Looney Tunes stuff. And theirs, like Disney does now, had a warning being like, hey, this was like made in the 40s, so sorry.
There's like some straight up propaganda, racist propaganda in this.
Yeah.
Heads up.
There's like some Nazi stuff in like early Looney Tunes.
Yeah. I mean, both but yes, both companies back then, they were literally part of the propaganda train. Yeah.
But like
Back
a lot of
then.
people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. But I remember a lot of people like giving props to Warner Brothers like 10 years ago for that, whereas Disney was kind of like just pretending like they'd never made anything that was bad. But yeah, you watch Aristocats, like 80% of the movie, you're like, okay, this is cute. And they're like, oh my God, this is horribly racist. But anyways.
I don't remember that part of Aristocats. I don't remember the movie that well.
Fortune cookie is always wrong.
We don't have to
Have to
discuss
get into that.
We don't have to talk
We're
about it.
saying it's wrong, so it's like, I'm not like, hey, they should fucking put that should be the main part of the movie, dude. Well, why isn't that?
Why isn't that on the Blu-ray cover?
Why weren't those cats the stars?
I also watched Happy Death Day, which I've been meaning to watch for a while.
That
Never
movie
seen
looked
it.
awful.
It's funny. It actually would have been a pretty good guilty pleasure pick, I think. Do you guys know anything about it?
It's like Groundhog Day, basically, right?
Yeah.
But with murder.
It's basically Groundhog Day plus Scream with just a little bit of Jennifer's Body sprinkled on top. That's actually its biggest flaw. I think it needed a lot more Jennifer's Body, because that movie was its best when it was being like funny. And when it was like kind of tapping into like the millennial zeitgeist. Like the best part of that whole movie is at the end it has its very Scream-esque moment where like the villain explains their plan and how they've done it. And then like at the very end when they're explaining their motivation, like the main character's like, is that all? She's like, no, it's also because you're a dumb bitch. That was super funny. So that movie worked its best when it was on its more comedic side, which I hear the sequel does very well. So I'm actually kind of excited to watch the sequel. But overall, I mean, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I like that they gave the main character an arc, which I feel like movies of its caliber don't always bother doing. The gimmick's fun. It's Groundhog Day, but with horror stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought it was perfectly fine. I enjoyed it just enough, and I definitely want to watch the sequel, which I hear mixes it up a bit.
Cool.
So maybe next week I'll report back with the sequel.
So, Jason, Blake, got a question for you. So, I did make you watch the first episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms this
I
week.
liked
yeah.
it.
So, what did you guys think of that?
I liked
It
it.
was good. It was good.
I like Dunk a lot. He's a good character.
Yeah.
Your hopes up too high. I'm not saying I'm going to watch all of it, but I did very much enjoy the first episode.
Sweet. Hey, there's only 5 more episodes,
That's a lot.
It's like 30 minutes. That's like classic TV.
That's a lot.
Anyway,
You can get through that in like an afternoon of doing laundry.
you really, but then you're not watching. I mean, I guess you.
Well, most of the time that you spend doing laundry, you're just waiting for the washing
That's
machine.
true, yeah.
Duncan, Idaho.
I really think that's probably like a reference. Like that seems like a very like George R. Martin. He's not shy about like his references usually, and so I think there it is probably like a nod to Dunk from Dune. But yeah,
That's the worst fictional name of all time.
Duncan, Idaho.
Anyways, we're mixing it up because we're going to do another themed month, but we're not going to tell you what it is yet.
that's going to start in
2 weeks.
April.
April. We're going to be on time this time. It's going to be
Yeah.
a perfect month. But for the time being, it's your choice, Jason.
Yeah,
Because of how
I
we're
guess so.
structuring it.
we're restructuring it a little bit. So
We're skipping
Jason-
Miles this week.
Yeah, but he'll start in April. So next pick is Jason's. Yeah.
Jason, what would you like to watch? What's your pick for this podcast?
In honor of baseball season's starting, so I want to watch a baseball movie.
Oh wait, you might be picking a good one. I think I know what you're picking.
I'm picking Moneyball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna pick League of Their Own.
No, that is a great movie though. I love that movie.
Moneyball. I've never seen it actually.
Yeah,
I know it's supposed to be quite good.
it is. Have you seen it, Miles?
Yes, I have. I kind of like Moneyball. There's other baseball movies I like a lot more.
Yeah,
But-
As a non-baseball fan, Moneyball is like my favorite baseball movie, and I know it's not. It's like the least baseball-y kind of. Fan
Yeah,
from
it's
what I
not
said.
even. It's really a baseball movie. I mean, it is.
It's a
but,
GM movie.
Yeah.
See,
General
I
manager.
don't know. My favorite one, sue me for this, but Trouble with the Curve. That's
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Never heard of that.
I like it.
Moneyball is probably one of my most rewatched films in like recent years. Like, I don't know, like it's one of those. It's like if I'm scrolling, like back in the day when just regular TV and it was on, I just end up watching it. Like I'm just like, oh okay.
I've never seen it. I hear it's quite good.
Yeah. Well,
What's
take
that?
your hopes way, way down.
Speaking
so that
of-
you'll be
Speaking of
surprised.
dumb comedies, what's that line? Dear God, it's me, Jonah Hill, nominated for Moneyball. Come on, this is the end.
something something not so chill happened last night.
Anyways, thank you for listening. It's been a interesting guilty pleasure month. I had to watch Fired Up because of it. which
Hey,
I'll-
I had to watch X-Men Origins Wolverine because of it.
I'd
So
much
who
ra-
really lost?
I had to
I'd
watch
much-
Bad Boys too.
At least you all watched Bad Boys too. All right. Something good came of this month.
watch Moneyball.
Yeah.
Join us next week. We will be talking about Moneyball.
Yeah.
Cool.
Look forward to a new themed month in just a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
I know you're all just
Chomping at the bit.
yeah.
Just whatever that means. What's the bit? Why are you biting at it, you maniac?
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.